What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. Laker fans, Anthony Davis is back to superstar MVP level form. It took us a couple of years to get back to this point, but Jesus Christ, that guy has been on a tear. We're going to talk about Anthony Davis this season thus far and just the what he's been doing to other teams because it's just been complete destruction. Put up 55 on the Wizards, 44 on Giannis's Bucks. These are just the last two games. We're going to break down the season, though. Before I do, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. But let's give AD some love because honestly, the last 2-3 years, it's really only gotten a lot of hate and a lot of disrespect and people calling him, injury prone, fragile, whatever you want to call it. Yes, he has his injury history, but we're going to praise him for the level of play he's been putting on because this is like top 3 or 4 player in the league level of play that he's had this season. Let's start with his, we'll just start with his stats, nice and easy. 28.6 points a game, career high. 12.8 rebounds per game, also another career high. And then 2.6 assists per game. And then, of course, this man is, when he wants to be, the best defensive player in the entire league. 2.4 blocks a game, 1.6 steals, or 1.4 steals, I should say. Basically averaging 4 stocks a game, which is remarkable. I don't know the last time that's been done. To continue with his steals and blocks, he has one game without a steal or a block this season. One game he didn't get one of those stats. To make it even crazier, 17 out of 19 games he has 2 or more. That is insane. There are so many other expletives I could use to describe that, but nobody in the league is doing that. Like consistently, and he locks up and he protects the rim. He can guard pretty much anybody on the floor. Defensively, he's generational. He's a superstar. And for whatever reason, people just don't want to give him that credit. Like they don't think I think he's the best rim protector in the league because he can go up against bigs. He can go up against the hyper athletic guards. Rarely, I can't remember the last time he ever got dunked on, but it's just, he's so hard to score on. He's so hard to get by. Defense, this is just defense. He's locked down. Lockdown, that's the best defensive player in the NBA. Are you with a wall? So as I mentioned earlier in the video, this is his career high in scoring at 28.6 points per game. That is really, really damn good. I think that puts him as like 10th in the league or 9th in the league, somewhere in that range. He's top 10 in scoring essentially. And he has one game this year under 20 points. That, everybody, a lot of these stars, they get over 10. That's easy for him. One game out of 20 under 20 points, very, very good. And his efficiency is something that I've really just been appalled at because had a little bit of inefficiency the last couple of years. This is, I think, his most efficient season he's ever had. He's shooting 59% from the field. This is up from last season by 4%. That's a pretty big jump in terms of scoring and efficiency output. And one reason I really think his efficiency is kind of here to stay in terms of the jump shot, because he has been hitting his middies pretty damn well. He's been finishing at an all-time level. Dunks, layups, craftiness, getting to the line. Speaking of getting to the line, he's 83.3% from the free throw line, which is like a 12% jump from last year. And I think that's something that, when he first got to LA, he was like 82% or something, I want to say a few years ago. And then each of the last 2 years, it declined like rapidly. And, if you're not hitting your free throws, it's not likely you're going to be hitting mid ranges that are covered and guarded. So, the fact that he's knocking those down is a good sign to show that his form is back in terms of the shooting perspective, which is really the biggest thing. I think he's shooting like 33% from 3. He's never been a 3-point shooter. But, if he can maybe hit one every couple games and keep it honest, keep the defense honest with that, I think it's really going to help. Because when he shot like 19% last year, Jesus, it was bad. So this year, if he's able to step out there and maybe hit one every other game or 2 or something like that, or get hot one game, hit 3 of them, I think that's really going to help. He's really the best player on the Lakers. LeBron is still great in his own way, but the most important player on the Lakers is Anthony Davis, because if he's not healthy, if he's not playing well, they're not doing anything. We're not competing for the play-in if he's not doing that. We're barely here right now. We've been kind of on a tear lately because one, scheduling, and then him just being so impossible to stop. And I think what's really helped is he's just been really, really aggressive offensively, defensively, and he's been really, really aggressive on the glass, which is leading to putbacks, leading to more, easier attempts to score. And his rebounding is the best in the league this year. He's leading the league in rebounding. He's had 8 games with 15 plus rebounds. And in 14 out of the 19 or 15 out of the 20 games that he's played, he's had over 10 rebounds. So that's a double-double in at least 15 games. Posting the highest defensive rebounding percentage of his entire career. I think it's at like 25%. So like a quarter of all rebounds that go up on for the team, he's rebounding them on defense. Really good sight to see because there'd be a lot of games in the past where you'd have 6 rebounds, 7 rebounds. Like, dude, you are the biggest, most dominant player on the floor. Go grab 12. Go grab 13. And he's had games this year with like 18, like 21, 16, 17. Like he's been really, really dominant on the glass. And I think it's really impacting his efficiency and just impact on the game. And if I want to touch on his true shooting percentage just real quick for the advanced analytic nerds, 65%. That is 4% higher than his career best. He's doing like career best, like across the board, career best in points, rebounds. Defensively, he looks like the 2020 version of him. Career best from the free throw line, from the field. Like it's all like just all coming together. These last, I'd say honestly, 16 games, he has been a top 3 to 5 player in the NBA. And like obviously people are going to be talking about it now because he dropped 55 tonight. But before that, like you could kind of see this trend was coming. Like he was playing really, really well. 44 against Giannis. And then I don't want to diss Giannis like that, but like 44 against Giannis's team, Giannis being the primary defender for a little bit of it. And he really went toe to toe with Giannis, which I think Giannis is the best basketball player on the planet. And Giannis had 40, and Anthony Davis combated him with 44. And there are games in the past where Giannis' aggressiveness would just take him out of it. He didn't let that deter him finally. You show like when he can go head to head with somebody like that because he is the only guy capable of pretty much going head to head with Giannis. There's honestly nobody else in the league that can do that and win for the most part. Like people might get lucky, but he is that guy. It's always been the conversation between him and Giannis. Giannis the last couple of years has really given himself a lot of space in that conversation, but it's nice to see him kind of crawling his way back into it and saying, "Hey, I'm still really damn good. I'm still a superstar player when I'm on the floor." That's going to lead me to my biggest point here. He's got to stay healthy. That's going to be the biggest thing for him because if he stays healthy and he puts out this, there's a very, very damn good argument for him to be an MVP candidate if the team keeps winning games. Because obviously you're not going to win an MVP if your team is 9th in the West. That's not going to happen. But he can make some waves and get his name in that conversation again if he does it. And I think right now it's only 20 games or 21 games, whatever it is. I think he's got a really good shot at Defensive Player of the Year, which he was robbed of it a couple of years ago. And like I said earlier in this video, that's the best defensive player on the planet. Another thing I like, he's having a career high in offensive rebounds, which he's following other people up. He's getting his own rebound sometime. 3.4 offensive rebounds per game. That's an extra 3 possessions, which over the course of a game, that may not seem like a lot, but if you lose by 1 or 2, it's one of those possessions they make a big deal in terms of when you get to the end of the season and you miss the playoffs by 1 game, or you miss the play-in by a game. It's because you didn't win that 1 game back in January that would have, really tilted it. Those possessions mean something and they're important because ultimately it's leading to his aggression because he's getting the ball. He's getting the ball more often. His usage rate is probably the highest it's ever been. I think the guys like LeBron and Russell Westbrook are kind of like, you know what, maybe we should take the step back and let him just be that guy. And it's also on him to, hey, I want to be that guy. I'm not going to be lazy. I'm going to put in the work. And he's done that this season, which honestly, the last couple of years, it didn't seem like he was. We were kind of waiting on him to do this. And now I think he's 29 years old, about to go into this is the prime of his career. So he's got to have monstrous nights, night in, night out, if you want to be in that, that top 50 conversation for NBA players. Because, he made the top 75. There was a lot of flack for that. I think talent-wise, he is one. But, you got to put up the numbers. You got to have the statistics to go along with it. Having a career year, it's a really good way to do that. So I'm really happy for Anthony Davis. We got another 60 games. I hope he stays healthy. That's going to be the biggest thing. He stays healthy, putting up 28 plus. Good luck. Anybody guarding him, you are in for a hell of a night because it's not going to be very much fun. And, you see a lot of the guys on TNT and stuff like that just trash him. Like, oh, they call him Street Clothes Davis. But it's like, to be fair, how many guys have played the full 82 in the last couple of years? I think it's like 5 guys have done that. Not to say that he's, 82 or anything like that, but like, if he gets over 65 games, I think that's a win for him because he does get a lot of those little knick-knack injuries that, can spiral into bigger injuries. And he always rushes back, which is always leads to a worse injury. So I just want him to stay healthy. I want him to have a good year. I want to see what it looks like when he is the very best player on a team that has surrounding talent. They don't have the greatest talent around him, missing some shooting, but guys have been playing better. The team has been playing better. He is the driving force of it all. Westbrook's been pretty good off the bench as a 6th man, getting a lot of love from Laker faithful in that, which is awesome because a lot of these guys were getting trashed in the offseason. But Anthony Davis, you have earned all of my respect, at least for this season, these 20 games, whatever it is, putting up 55. Like, that's not easy. It's not easy, leading the league in blocks and steals, whatnot, leading the league in rebounding, efficiency, all that good stuff. Great to see. But are you with me? Do you agree that Anthony Davis is indeed back to being his superstar self, I should say, because I think he is. We got a pretty good sample size here of, 15 to 20 games where he's looked like it. So I can't wait to see how this next 60 games goes, whatever it is, to see how he puts on because, if we get more 40-point games, this looks like 2020 Anthony Davis. So I'm excited to see it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Please like the video, but shout out AD. He has been awesome. Thank you for watching. I'm done here. Peace.